Not a bad way to start your day, but for round two, I wish I brought sunglasses because the sun is right there. I say second time because, well, 4 dogs, hard to record with, 4 dogs. One dog in one hand, a poop bag in one hand, shoes in one hand, and one dog wrapped around your neck. That's 3 hands. I don't have 3 hands, so didn't want one just for the video. But this weighted vest, and not a bulletproof vest, it's a weighted vest, is a new thing just for cardio purposes. I don't know. I have it, might as well use it. And this is round two because Marcia, who is making a new friend, the Vizsla, needs quite a bit more than bugs. Needs quite a bit more than 1.5 miles, at first thing in the morning. The big dogs and Millie, there we go. That's fine for them. They're already asleep. They've been asleep. But her, she needs some more. Oh, water's not that cold. But this is a bit of a new thing since we figured out that our HOA has its own private beach access, and dogs are allowed here until 9 a.m. and we're long working at 9 a.m. So before we were just going to a spot on the beach where it's there's just a ton of people there, and we didn't really want to bring the dogs around a ton of people, especially if they're afraid of the monsters. But this spot, you can tell there's very few people here, even at I think it's 7:30ish. So we'll get our second 1.5 to 2 miles in on the beach with the weighted vest, and at some point my shoulders are going to start hurting because it's 40 pounds. But I remind myself that I used to be way heavier than this. Nice part about where we live here is that if you walk on the east side of the street early in the morning, all the trees in the buildings that are over here block the sun. And then if you walk on the west side of the street in the afternoon, same thing happens. And of course, it's the start of August in South Florida, so you don't really go outside during the day unless you want to melt. And even still at 7:45 in the morning, it's warm. A little bit of hustling. I really used to weigh more than 250 pounds, but now being 210 and wearing a 40-pound vest, it gets to you after a while. Like I said in the last video, we've got our windows and doors being replaced with ones that work, they slide and they open properly, and 2 that are hurricane proof. As we were walking up the street, we saw a truck that looked very much like what we expected our truck to look like, but we were behind them. So Kyrie and Marcia kind of jogged up the front and said, I'm here behind. Bit of a busy day with regards to the house stuff. Day 1 of windows and doors. Hopefully it's done by Friday. Today's Wednesday. And then hopefully the last day of the painters, so that we have our house and our cabinetry and we can use a dishwasher again. Because while I'm not above scrubbing a plate, I don't want to if I don't have to. So while I'd rather sleep into all hours of the morning, getting up and going for a walk is kind of nice. Don't mind me eating my breakfast. Someone not long ago asked me what my diet was, because apparently I never age, which, wrong. The white hairs are popping up exponentially. And it's going to be kind of boring because I eat the same thing every day. For example, I start my day with eggs. Usually 3 of them, full eggs. For some reason, my body just disagrees when I get egg whites just by themselves. It didn't used to be like that. Just in the last year or so, I pop an egg white in, and all of a sudden, I need to throw up, so I don't do that anymore. And then the other part of my breakfast, frozen fruit. This one's my favorite, the tropical fruit medley. When I first got here, I couldn't find it. It wasn't on Amazon for Whole Foods delivery. It wasn't in any of the grocery stores. I couldn't find it. Get really depressed, so I just bought the regular frozen stuff at Publix, which is fine, but this popped up and then I bought 6 of them. So, and yes, I measure everything out because one, I like to keep track. I like to have the data in front of me. And two, it helps with my instant dosing. So, as you can see, 361 grams. I'll pop that into my app. It'll be probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 50 grams of carbohydrates, but a lot of that's fiber, and you can't really digest fiber and it doesn't go in your bloodstream, so. I like frozen fruit. Keeps you cool, sort of, on days where half of your house gets taken off. But that's breakfast, and you'll notice a pattern as the day goes by with what I eat. It's very boring, but I kind of like it. I gotta go to work. Hope I stop sweating soon. Quick break in the very loud drilling action, apparently. Although there's hammering going on. It's a little after 12, and the drills have just more or less stopped. I was getting hangry, so I grabbed myself a snack-ish. I don't know if I'm going to call this lunch because it doesn't seem like lunch, but all it is 261 grams of chicken thighs that I made yesterday. I like them. I think they're pretty good. Also, I haven't had caffeine yet today, so you're going to hang out with me as I drink my first sip of caffeine. It's just Starbucks iced coffee stuff that you get at the grocery store as the drills restart. I'm not like that upset about it because it's their job. That's what they're doing. I think I'm just more hangry, and I don't love working like not at a desk or at least a table. But Kyrie has a telehealth day, so she's in my office. I'm just doing chart review, so I don't like need a desk. At the same time, it's not my style. So it's been a hard day of work to try to get myself in the mindset for doing that sort of thing. But maybe just hangry and undercaffeinated. So hopefully this will help, and I'll get back to work. But all right, stop being hangry. Eat some food and go back to work. Okay. There are no rules when your house is a disaster like mine is, so. 5 o'clock and we're still sweating. My office, like I said, is like the hottest room in the house because the sun just beats in there. We don't have any curtains because it just got painted. And about 1:30, 1:45 is when it gets really hot, and that's when Bergie started to have problems. So we put an ice collar on him, so we'll see if you can... There he is over there laying down. Everyone's really warm. There is a fine layer of dust on the floor. Happens with this stuff, but we have functioning doors. And I just looked, and we're not quite at 1,000 calories. There we go. Go ahead, Marcia. See ya. Really,
Can we turn on the pool cleaner?
yeah. The pool looks gnarly, but now Marcia is out hunting lizards like she does. I wanted to go get some fans that I could just put right behind a bowl of ice cubes, but apparently that's going to be something for tomorrow. This needs to be turned on. I feel like everything within a 50-yard radius is just dust. And this wall is a lovely representation of what the house color used to be. This, whatever this is. Then it went to that, whatever that is. And we're gonna change it. I need some food, and it's going to be little mini hamburgers. The way I make... Did you find one? Oh, Millie's in the pool. Get it, Marcia. Maybe not. Of course, when I'm the hottest, I'm gonna go hang out in the sun next to a hot grill. All that's left to do is fix the trim in the big one and the one over by the kitchen, and then entirely replace this one. We were told, at least I was under the impression, that once they did all this stuff that we're going to have how to get out of the sun. I was told, or at least I was under the impression, that once all the doors were replaced, they were going to paint the house. Haven't been really told otherwise just yet, other than I think my mother was here yesterday and asked, you know, if they're going to paint the house, and one of the guys said, yes, we have a guy, which leads me to believe no. So I hope we don't have these awkward salmon-colored areas of the house. I just want to stop sweating. But before the blood sugar dips too low, and we are looking at 75, maybe a quick snack. I gotta be careful with these though, because I will eat this entire bag in like one sitting. I know for many of you it may seem insane that, you know, my go-to snacks are not chips and candy and stuff, but I'll be honest with you, you're not wrong. I kind of find myself often on the extreme side of that, you know, what is healthy, what is not healthy. Not to say that I'm not going to have, you know, candy every once in a while, which I do. Not to say that I'm not going to have something that's like frowned upon by the health society every once in a while, which I will. But more often than not, it's something like this. I would frown upon it more if I didn't actually like it, because I'd actually like it. And if it's this, it'd be a different story if I had to like force myself to choke back a raw tomato, which is like the food that I would prefer not to have. That, you know, the dried mango forgot shake. It's good. Try it sometime. So that was 2 pounds of 93% lean organic ground beef. If I want to, I'll dig the label out and show you. And then Kyrie wanted some salmon, so I prepared her some salmon. And then she saw the burgers and decided burgers are better. So she's gonna have that for lunch. I don't plan to eat the entire 2 pounds right now, especially because Kyrie's gonna have some, 1, and 2, that's a lot. The grill doesn't usually live here. It usually lives, you know, closer to the house. But because they're doing all the work on those doors and they wanted everything away from the doors, we have all of our stuff on the other side of the pool, which is gonna make... I'm probably gonna fall in before the week is over. Well, I guess next week, because they're coming back next week. Do I have enough room on the grill? Kinda no. Well, that's awkward. Well, I guess we wait until some of the burgers are done and then put the last two on. Oh my god. Would love to dip my head in the pool, but it's gross from all the dust and crap, so I'm not gonna do that and die. I've been sweating for something like 15 hours. And I'm very excited to go to bed. But now that our house is like in one piece and not just like open, that poor little air conditioner gets to start working again. I walked right by the whatever thermostat thing we have. It's now 80 degrees in here, so that's fun. I'm in my newly colored office, so there's a preview of that, but it's still not done. And you can tell just how echoey it is in here, and that bothers me. But I got the DM message, whatever it was, a couple of weeks ago about like, you know, show us what you eat every day. You know, you seem to defy aging, and I told them I don't. But that's kind of what I eat. It's more fruits than anything, meat number 2, and then vegetables number 3, and everything else at distant 4. I kind of like eating that way because it's simple. It's, I don't know, you don't really have to think about it. And I don't really want to think about things if I don't have to think about them. It's just one more decision I don't have to make, right? If I eat the same thing more or less every day, it's just like, what kind of protein do I want? What kind of fruits am I in the mood for? Or what is, you know, in season, right? So, you know, I eat a lot of frozen fruit in the summer because I like it and it keeps my body temperature lower. But in the fall, I'm probably gonna eat more apples than anything else because it's apple season. I've found that that works for me. Does that mean that you must do it? No. Does it mean that it will work for you? No. My lifestyle lends towards it because I just do what I want, really. You know, if I had small kids who had to, you know, eat certain things, then I would make it a lot less convenient. If I had, I don't know, fruit allergies, probably should stay away. But this is the kind of thing that has worked for me for the last couple of weeks anyway, and I feel better doing it this way as opposed to just kind of throwing all sorts of stuff in there, you know, processed foods. I think kind of just slow my brain down and make everything a little bit more difficult than it needs to be. But I don't know. I'm not ready to set that in stone just yet. I am ready to wash my face with remarkably cold water and go to sleep. Man, what a day. Thanks for